One, two, three. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about something that may put a lot of people in a very uncomfortable position, but whatever. During this pandemic, the one thing that I just couldn't figure out, and something I wanted to ask in the beginning, and to be honest, I did, and I got a lot of pushback from a lot of my friends because they felt like I was being insensitive and treating people as numbers. And I'm like, well, then how are you supposed to get to the bottom of how deadly this virus is if we don't do statistics? And being a basic math person and a computer science person, yes. I think numbers, treating people as numbers in this instance, I think will give a better insight into just how deadly and how fearful we should be about this virus. So, after my internship here in Arizona, I decided to go over to California. And I know I'm veering a little bit off topic here, but stay with me. All of this will make sense. And I know I have ADHD, so hopefully I'm not going to jump too far ahead for you to not be able to keep up. So I'm going to slow it down, but it all starts with me going to California. So I did finish my internship here about a couple of years ago and decided to go to California instead of going back to grad school in Chicago, where it was so cold because we were rolling into the winter time and I did not want to do it. I did not want to spend my last semester in Chicago. So I decided to go over to California. The reason why I wanted to see what the tech space was looking like, what Silicon Valley was looking like, and I wanted to see how people lived and interact with each other in the community and what the laws were like. Well, I was really shocked when I was reading into some of their laws there, especially being a single individual. And since, the beginning of this COVID, the role of the government and the goal of the government when it comes to having a say in our bodies, to me, it doesn't really make sense, especially if they're saying that they're doing this to protect us because they care about our health as Americans, right? It's not our right. Look, what's the one thing they always say? It's not your right as an American to go infect another person. Okay. We've heard that many times during the COVID, right? Okay, so this is where I start to have a conundrum. My ADHD just can't compute things. So let's go ahead and look at this little article, which I read back in. This is a different law group that decided to post this, but this topic has been around ever since this bill got passed back in 2017. So let's go look at it. All right, so this is from the SHUS California Law Group. The one thing, thanks to this California Senate Bill 239, as of January 1st, 2017, it is no longer a felony for people who are HIV positive to have unprotected sex and not to disclose their status. So, I don't understand. We already know that HIV kills. We know this. We also know that with COVID, if you are in a group, in any of those groups that are, have comorbidities, you are also more likely to die from COVID than those who are not in those groups. However, like I have said before, every single time Biden or that Jen Psaki lady, Miss Liar, keeps going up to the podium telling everyone it's not another American right to infect another, explain this to me. Not only do they not have to disclose their status, they can literally infect someone on purpose. And nothing will happen to these individuals. They can still participate in society. They can still go to restaurants. They can still go to concerts. They can still get on a plane. But COVID, which I have said from the beginning with the rates that were given, with the data that was given on the CDC's website, if you were determined enough, you could have done the same math and have came to the same conclusion that I did. Over a period of about a month, I couldn't really determine what direction the virus was going. But after about 2 to 3 months, there was enough data for me, not everybody else, but for me, to come to my conclusion that I don't think that this virus, the way that it's going, will kill even over 1% of Americans. So, I want to see how many people have died from COVID from last year to this year. And I already know that number. I know it's under 1 million. I know it. It's under 1 million. And honestly, I think those numbers are even false too, because the one metric that a lot of people were asking in the beginning that no one thought is a logical question to ask. No one thought to ask, oh, are these people dying because they have COVID in their system, or because they actually did die from complications of COVID? So now this question wants to come out, and we don't even know if the numbers are legit. But let's say they are. We know that the COVID deaths okay. Total. There you go. Like I said, we already know it's under 1 million. 2 years later, it's still under 1 million. Okay, now let's see the American population. I already know it. I had roughly said it would be around 330 million. But when I did the math, I took a rough estimate around 300 million Americans, and I still came to this conclusion. And honestly, you don't even need to do math about this. This is literally one. I guess you could say it's not even, it's just an insane amount. But anyways, let's go ahead and do the math for those out there who are, who said that math is racist and, we shouldn't be using that to determine if this is really an issue or something that, even though I believe individuals should consider it an issue, contracting something and dying from it are two very completely different things. You can contract chickenpox, and we all know how highly contagious that is, but we also know it's not that deadly, or deadly at all. I don't know. I know. I haven't really looked into any cases about those who have died from chickenpox, but anyways, so let's go ahead and take that number, 330. Let's go ahead and just do a proof of concept. Because if I'm doing it at 300 million, and we already know that 329.5 million is greater than 300 million, then we can conclude that this ratio will be even smaller. So 1, 10, 100,000, 200,000, million. There's 1 million. So like I said, I'm just going to round up all the deaths of COVID to 1 million, even though it says there's 882. But this is just the worst case scenario, just with these numbers. So I did that, then divided by 1, 10, 100,000, 2,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100 million, right? This is what we got people scared of around the world. This death rate, or at least here in America, this death rate, your chances of dying, and this is coming from the data that we already have. They put so many people in fear, divided this country over that number. But yet, when I see this, To me, that is the exact contradiction of the government looking out to protect your health and telling you that no other American has the right to willingly infect another American. Like I said, common sense isn't common anymore. And they do not care about you, your body. They only care about controlling your mind. And this right here proves it.